When people don't learn from mistakes, their mistakes often turn into bad habits. This woman simply will not learn. She really is a special kind of stupid. Now, we can definitely agree that Tina Brown was correct when she said that Meghan Markle was the worst decision maker ever. She really is. Now, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have found themselves smack dab in the middle of another PR disaster. They even have a brand new nickname, the Disaster Tourist. And I think, y'all, that one's gonna stick. Now, rumor on the street is that Netflix is fuming that Meghan Markle has yet again done something that is ruining her reputation. They're now holding emergency meetings, and there's a possibility she could be canceled. Will Netflix finally give Harry and Meghan the axe even before her cooking show airs? You guys, we have a lot of juicy Royal Daily Tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. Well, guys, there's a lot of fires going on right now, and no, I'm not talking about the California wildfires. I'm talking about the massive explosions that are going off at Netflix. Word on the street is the executives are pissed. They are piping hot at Meghan and Harry. Just when they thought it couldn't get any worse with the gruesome twosome of Montecito, poof, they do it again. Harry and Meghan have really stepped in it this time, and I don't know if they can walk their way back. So we all know back in 2020, Netflix signed Harry and Meghan to a whopping 5-year, $100 million deal. Now we know they weren't paid $100 million, but it was estimated they could have made $100 million. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't think they made anything near that, or for Netflix's sake, I hope not, because let's just say I don't think they're getting a return on their investment. A lot of people are actually saying that Harry and Meghan was possibly the worst investment that Netflix has ever done. I mean, ask Spotify how much money they actually made off signing Harry and Meghan. I would say it's a big fat zero. So the Netflix executives were shocked. Meghan Markle's trailer for her upcoming cooking show on YouTube has the fastest amount of thumbs down in literal history. As of January 11th, she had over 150,000 dislikes. That is unheard of. That is record-breaking numbers. So you have to know the executives over there at Netflix were panicking at the amount of people who truly dislike Meghan Markle. They need to recoup some of the money they have invested in the moochers of Montecito. Now, I do believe that Meghan also wanted to push it back because January was kind of a sucky time slot. But I do believe that Netflix was going to go full steam ahead, but the wildfires was kind of a good excuse to push it back. Now, according to Lady C, some of her sources have said that the Netflix executives, again, were scrambling and they wanted to give Meghan Markle a little bit of an opportunity to kind of fix her reputation. Sprinkle some more glitter on that poop, okay? Maybe some poopery. Because, honey, you stink. You stink. And they thought, okay, we're going to give her some more time. Maybe they can reshoot the trailer. Maybe they can throw in the kids, the back of their heads, the dog. Maybe Harry can stay for another 5 minutes. Something. Okay, we're going to zhuzh it up a little bit and make it a little bit better. And March is a better time slot. Again, for a spring cooking show, this kind of makes a little bit more sense than the January release. So they used the wildfires as an excuse. So after Netflix and Meghan Markle jointly announced they were delaying the release of her upcoming cooking show, with love, Meghan, they actually received a little bit of positive press. A lot of people were applauding Meghan for being kind and sensitive and putting the plight of the fire victims ahead of her Netflix show. Now, we all know behind the scenes, they didn't give two shites about any of the victims of the wildfire. They're trying to desperately salvage this cooking show. Remember Polo? That show that came out on December 10th and has quickly died and is buried and dusted and nobody talks about it anymore? Yeah, that was Prince Harry's latest project, the third flop in a row. So Netflix is scrambling because they got to have a win. They got to get something out of this couple that's positive because, again, they have egg on their face. People are laughing at them and their association with Meghan and Harry. Now, the interesting thing is that Richard Eden, the editor for the Daily Mail, in my opinion, perfectly summed it up. He pretty much said that their moral compass is shite. They didn't care about the Queen or Prince Philip when he was literally lying on his deathbed. They didn't feel the need to cancel or postpone the Oprah Winfrey interview, but they did put a clause in there that said, well, if he dies, maybe not air it that day. You know, maybe wait a day or two. Literally, they didn't care that his 99-year-old grandfather was in the hospital clinging to life, and they went ahead and aired the interview. And we all know he died a couple weeks later. Oh, aren't they sweet? Well, if he dies, make sure you don't put it out that day. They literally said that. That's not even a joke. So the king and queen of hypocrisy and moral compass themselves are getting, a pat on the back for being so thoughtful of all the poor people who can't, do the joys of hosting and cooking alongside Meghan Markle in her rented kitchen. So therefore, they're going to push the show back 2 months. In my opinion, it had nothing to do with the victims of the wildfire and everything to do with trying to look like a nice person and desperately trying to salvage a show that's going to be a flop on arrival. So there's a rumor that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle might be on the blackball list in Hollywood. Because in my opinion, once Netflix is done with them, I don't think anyone is going to touch Harry and Meghan with a 10-foot pole. If you've noticed, since 2020, Harry and Meghan have not signed any major deals with any other companies. They had Netflix, they had Spotify, they had Penguin Random House. But since then, we're talking 5 years, Harry and Meghan haven't really signed any huge blockbuster deals. And here's why. The age of the big celebrity is over. Hollywood's getting canceled. If you haven't noticed, people are sick of wokeism. They're sick of Hollywood. They're sick of celebrities. Harry and Meghan rode that wokeism celebrity wave back in March of 2020 when everything was about wokeism. Remember that? And they got on the bandwagon of all of those social issues. And Meghan and Harry played the victim and cried racism. And that was really popular back in 2020. We had the whole George Floyd situation happening and the Me Too movement. But now in 2025, the age of wokeism is kind of dying. Hollywood is also shifting. Even Hollywood stars are kind of shifting their opinions. People are no longer afraid anymore. They're not hiding behind the fake wokeism that a lot of people were hiding behind. Even Mark Zuckerberg is now changing his entire platform on how they rate information. And of course, Harry and Meghan are all up in arms about the whole Facebook thing because they like to censor free speech. And even Zuckerberg is like, yeah, I kind of effed up there. He did. He colluded during an election. He hid information. He suppressed an entire group of people. Whether you agree or don't agree with those people's views, it's wrong. We're Americans. We should have free speech. And so he's finally correcting something. And of course, Harry and Meghan are all offended and they have to speak out about it because Harry and Meghan are still on the wokeism victimhood narrative of 2020. We're in 2025. Someone didn't give them the memo that their victimhood narrative is old, it has expired, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Ask Meghan Kelly and Candace Owen, who ripped her a new one, and I'm here for it. Now, it's been 5 years since Megxit, and of course now the media is like they're finally catching on to everything that we've all been saying here in the Megxit community for 5 years. It's now mainstream, it's now popular to call out Hollywood and, well, to call out Harry and Meghan. Now, the interesting thing is Netflix, according to an inside source, again, they kind of want to get rid of Harry and Meghan. They're done with Harry and Meghan. They're not making any money off Harry and Meghan. They received a lot of embarrassment, a lot of backlash, and actually they've lost quite a few subscribers since they signed Harry and Meghan. Again, there's a rumor that Harry and Meghan are blackballed. And this latest stunt of becoming a disaster tourist, I don't think Harry and Meghan are ever going to be able to come back from this. I think that name is going to stick like the Mutras of Montecito. People are sick of them. And I think Harry and Meghan, they haven't quite got the memo, but I do believe all the executives in Hollywood, they think Harry and Meghan have cooties. Nobody wants to touch them. They are toxic. Justine Bateman was 100% correct when she called them disaster tourists. It was a national emergency, a disaster, and you literally were touring people's homes like it was an attraction to see at Disneyland. It was disgusting. There was no reason for Harry and Meghan with the mayor to be there. They're not heads of state, they're not working royalty, they're not politicians, they're not even leading huge efforts or even donating any real money. All I've heard about is that Harry and Meghan have privately donated and they've given up, some used clothing and some makeup products. Did she clean out her closet and just decided to, donate it? What they could have done is they could have stayed in Montecito. They could have put out a public statement on her brand new Instagram, the one where she proclaimed that 2025 was her year. Well, apparently it's her year of cancellation. They could have put out a statement to her 1.5 million Instagram followers, who, by the way, have not gone up in 5 days. Apparently this disaster tourism is not helping in the fan department. Just saying. They could have put out a statement on Instagram and said, our hearts are broken, we're donating $1 million. That would have been good. I would have said, okay, that's a nice thing to do. They would have followed along in the footsteps of Beyonce and a couple of other celebrities who are just donating money and staying the hell out the way. But instead, they literally showed up like white on rice, made sure they were front and center, and they were the main story. Fox covered them for 10 minutes? Talking about Princess Markle, and there's Harry. Oh, they're standing around. Oh, they're giving hugs. Oh, look, it's Princess Markle. We were notified, and here she is. Why the hell was Fox focusing on Harry and Meghan? Was there nothing else to talk about at that moment? Again, they were alerted and instructed to cover them. Harry and Meghan are also seen leaving the event with a camera crew. So whether it was their camera crew or TMZ, who again outed them and said, you 100% notified us and told us to be here for coverage, we don't know. They had such a huge entourage. They had bodyguards, assistants. For two people who just wanted to show up incognito and do the Lord's work, they sure had quite a few people around them. And from what I can see and from what I heard, they didn't do much. Again, riding on the coattails of other people. Now, even though Harry and Meghan had a very successful documentary with the H&M documentary, in the industry, it was still kind of shite. It didn't win any awards, and it's actually more of a mockumentary than a documentary because there were more holes in it than a piece of Swiss cheese. When you have to use archival footage from other people to prove a point, we were chased by the paparazzi. Here, check out this clip that we stole from a movie premiere because we're just going to show you, we were chased. That's laughable. They didn't win a Golden Globe or an Emmy like they actually thought they were going to because the industry saw that their documentary was full of lies and exaggerations. And that was their heyday. That was their success story on Netflix, was a mockumentary that has been mocked and debunked. Even David Beckham won awards for his documentary, and it was a great documentary. It was truthful. But Meghan and Harry, the only thing they have done in 5 years on Netflix was the H&M documentary, and that was full of holes, just like the Oprah Winfrey interview. So in the industry, Harry and Meghan are toxic. They don't produce anything. You're not going to make any money. And now this latest disaster of being disaster tourist, how low they have fallen. I do believe after the show airs, if it airs, Netflix is 100% going to cut ties with Meghan Markle. Now, according to Neil Sean, the rumor on the street is, ARO is DOA. That thing is collecting dust. I think we all know that thing is dead. That Meghan's new brand is With Love, Meghan. And they want to sell aprons and some cookery on the show. And they were going to sell it in the Netflix store. But you guys, I think that the deal is over now because of this whole PR fiasco of being a disaster tourist. I don't think Harry and Meghan are going to come back. People are ripping them. Harry and Meghan have not signed any huge deals with any company or any other studio since 2020, and their track record has been horrible. Think Spotify, Archetypes is dead and buried, ARO, she couldn't get off the ground. Even her re-entry into social media has been a complete 1.5 million Instagram followers in 2 weeks, and is at a standstill. She can't even grow an Instagram. Now she's being trashed for her cookery show, and now her reputation has gone farther and farther down. Harry and Meghan are looking like complete fools and jokes, and rumor on the street is they are blackballed in Hollywood. Nobody wants to touch Harry and Meghan, and Netflix cannot wait until March 4th when they can unload Meghan Markle, the demon in high heels, and get her out of their office. They are counting down the days like an advent calendar when they can be rid of the demon Duchess herself. What do y'all think? Do you believe that Meghan and Harry will be able to come back from this PR disaster and save face? And do you believe Harry and Meghan will land more Hollywood deals? Or do you believe that once Netflix closes its doors on Harry and Meghan, that's going to be the end of Hollywood Harry and Meghan? Leave me your comment, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.